And then the other thing is I think they're going to come out and I think they're going to use a lot of it. And I think they don't want to show their hand in the first game on how they're going to run that offense. But I do think we are going to see, because when Jonnu Smith was given his opportunities, he took full advantage of them and made some excellent plays and excellent catches to keep drives going, and just really showed out. He played very, very well. So I think that is why we saw kind of that vanilla, watered down look from them. But what do you think, Jake? Is it a Bellicheck thing to do that?
I think it's half and half, because at times, like, yeah, Bellicheck is the type that, like, when you look at from a blocking standpoint, he wants everybody on the front line of the offensive line to be protective at all costs because they want to protect the quarterback. At the same time, when it comes to the tight end set, you're either going to have someone who's going to be a really good clutch blocking tight end and also one that's going to be a very pass-catching tight end. So I do think it was slow as well, and you're right, because the fact of they were missing up at times in preseason. So I think they're still trying to get used to each other. They're still trying to figure out the playbook with two tight end sets. But I do expect Bill Belichick to implement a little bit more of two tight end sets more often than I think that we would most anticipate seeing all throughout the season. So it's going to take some time, but I think at the end of it, you're going to see production out of Jonnu Smith. You're going to see production out of Hunter Henry. It just takes time of it. I know kind of the skeptic of it, especially being a Chargers fan, seeing Hunter Henry, it's slow with him. So that's where I can kind of see why they did that in the middle of the game.
Now, I do want to ask you a question about Hunter Henry. Knowing that you've seen that you got to see him play, this is Patriots Nation kind of first taste of him on the field. And what is Hunter Henry going to bring to the Pats?
I think Hunter Henry, you're going to expect him to bring some really good production. And I think ultimately what happened, because you think of the rookie season he put up, he was a guy that was coming off of a year where it's a pass the torch moment from Antonio Gates to Hunter Henry. And at times, you'd see Phillip Rivers where he was productive of throwing the football to Hunter Henry. You're going to get a real good passing, a pass-catching tight end in the middle of it. And I also do think you're going to have somebody who's also going to be utilized on a pass-blocking situation, if not run block. He's a good-built kid. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and at the same time, the only thing that is on everybody's mind and their worries is, can Hunter Henry stay healthy? That was the problem that had happened with Chargers. He was missing a lot of on-the-field opportunities and even in games. But I think with a Patriots team, new fresh look for him, new change of scenery, I think this is where I think Hunter Henry, you're going to see the upside of him have catch majority of the time, but they are going to utilize him when it comes to run block.
I think Henry's a hell of a player.
You're saying a little bit of he can. So you're saying he's a versatile guy that can do both block and catch.
Yeah.
And we all know how Belichick likes versatility, and he likes versatility and availability. If you can do a lot and you're available to do it, that's a Belichick guy. JD, what are your thoughts?
Hunter Henry, and just the double tight end set.
Tight end set in general.
Well, I think that it might take the whole team a couple of practices, and like you said, if they weren't all together, it might take them a little while to get that going. And it's just one of those things where you got a rookie, you're trying to get him as much information as possible. But I think they want him to master the basic playbook before they start throwing extra things on his lap. They want to make sure he can, do all the little things right first, and then they'll try to get tricky with it. And once they do, I think Mac Jones, I do think Mac Jones he seems like not only accurate enough, but sharp enough. And I think he's capable of of running that offense and doing it successfully. I don't know about the tight ends themselves. I guess we'll just have to see about that. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. You never know how well players are going to play well together. And tight ends are like roller coasters, man. Like their performance, like Gronk had 2 touchdowns last night. He was projected to have 5 points on fantasy. He had 2, or not last night, 3 nights ago, whatever it was. He had 29 points. So like you never really know about tight ends. It's all about the scheme and the chemistry and a bunch of other factors that are very much behind the scenes.
No doubt. Now I have another question for both of you that I want to get both of your opinions on. Can Damien Harris be 1,000-yard running back this year?
Want to go first, Jake?
Go ahead, Jake.
Well, that's tough because I mean, I really do like Damien Harris, but I think, to be quite honest, I think he's going to fall himself short. He's going to try to get that 1,000-yard rushing, but I feel like he's going to fall short because, I mean, he's a really good kid that I think when it comes to an offensive line that provides the run block and at the same time provides those open lanes for Damien Harris to run through, you kind of have to think about the matchups you're going to deal with throughout the season. When I looked at the Patriots' schedule as well, you're looking at a couple of games through in the season that are going to be some pretty good superior run blocking defenses. They're
Really
gonna be,
good.
they're going to try to stop the run.
We face a lot of good defenses with good fronts. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's where I think it may be the challenging part right there for Damien Harris. It's not to say it's not possible, but I do think it's not going to come as easy when you're facing off against certain teams that may have rebuilt themselves to a better run defensive front. And, and especially like we saw here in this case with Miami and Brian Flores, not going to be that very easy to get through to certain defenses with schematics like that.
Absolutely. What do you think, JD? Can he do it?
You kind of changed my mind there. I was actually going to say yes, but actually I think no. And I have a different reason than Jake provided, but that's very apt. I would say no, and the reason why is because Bellicheck doesn't need to, and the chat alluded to it. Karam says Pats have a heavy backfield. They have a lot of running backs, and Bellicheck uses whatever scheme he thinks is going to work, whichever running backs he thinks is going to work that week. You could have 3 500-yard running backs this year, but I don't see one guy going for 1,000.
Well, screw the both of you. He is. He's going to get 1,100.
What's the last Patriot to go for 1,000?
Are you Lawrence Maroney?
I was going to say we both said the same thing.
Sorry about that. The inner Patriots homer in me came out for a second.
Hey, I'd rather have
Corey Dillon.
What were you going to say? Corey Dillon?
Corey Dillon, I think, was the last time they had. Yeah, Corey Dillon.
Not Maroney? Oh, wow. That was a long time ago, bro.
Lawrence Maroney? Come on, man. That dude was basura. He was trash.
Wouldn't you rather have 3 backs that can run for 500 than one that runs for 1,000?
Isn't that basically what New England does anyway?
That's another thing too, right? Like the chat has alluded to, that the Patriots have Damien Harris, Ramondre Stevenson, James White, and J.J. Taylor if they need them. Like, those are all capable of producing yards and points, in games.
I'd rather have 3 backs that combine for 2,000 yards from scrimmage. That would be nice. That'd be a good. I don't care if it's rushing or that'd be good for me.
Now let's kind of focus on the quarterback for a second.
Okay.
I thought Mac Jones, the command at the line of scrimmage was pretty good. I do think he messed up. I counted 4 times where he should have audibled out. He should have called an audible and changed the play at the line. I counted 4 of them during the game where he might have not seen it, or just or Brian Flores disguised it good enough to where he didn't see it coming. But I counted 4 times in the game where he should have audibled out and he took a hit that was unnecessary. Now, that being said, when he did take those hits, he was able to still deliver accurate footballs. And I saw him twice do something that veteran quarterbacks do well, is throw guys open. He did it twice really well. Throwing guys open is a veteran move.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and another thing, Cam doesn't throw people open very well. That's an upgrade, in my opinion. He never has. He never really did.
You have to think of, in full honesty, when it came to Cam and trying to throw people open. Like, first of all, when you've got a lingering shoulder injury that what Cam had suffered, like Bobby, you and I talked about this all last year. That's where he lost majority of his accuracy. So at that point, you know what you're going to get with Cam Newton when it comes to situations like that. But to see Mac Jones toughen himself to those hits and then be able to make the plays, I mean, we saw it all over the league yesterday. Justin Herbert was able to do that. Even if he was under duress, he was going to throw darts down field.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Some of these young quarterbacks are going to end up going and learn. Yeah.
Now, we also talked about so his poise in the pocket was good. His ability to take a hit, deliver an accurate football was good. He did have a few times out of the 10 misses that he had, because he went 29 and 39. I counted 6 of them being his fault. 6 of them being his own fault. Just an off. He threw it where they, just a miscommunication. They were on him. They were his fault. If the other 4 were, I think there was a miscommunication between him and the receiver, and I think he was throwing to a spot, and I think it was on the receiver. But those are his 10 misses there. Is there the one thing that, like I said, the one I think thing that he needs to learn now, the chat alluded to it before, that maybe Bellicheck isn't giving him full autonomy at the line of scrimmage yet, where it's if you see something.
I think as they get better week to week and they start to learn more and more of that playbook and still get kind of the feel of in-game situations, I think eventually you're going to see Bellicheck really going to start to kind of take the strings off.
Hey,
there we go.
Hey, by the way, can I just say something, Jake?
Yeah.
The fact that I see palm trees in your camera pisses me off.